Hello, hello, hello. You are listening to the Aligned Birth Podcast. I'm Dr. Shannon, one of the hosts of the show, and Rachel, my co-host here, is also with us today. And today is Fun Conversation Day, where we're just going to talk about life because life has been happening. As we're recording this, we're in the midst of summer. And so I feel like we do a lot of these like life updates in summer because summer is freaking crazy. And, we each have 2 boys. And so it's just a very active summer. So we wanted to give some updates, not only about podcast things and podcast life, but also business things, because we do have our own businesses, and then personal things, because we do have our own lives. So that's what we are chatting on the show today about. Welcome to the Aligned Birth Podcast. I'm Dr. Shannon, a prenatal chiropractor.
And I'm Rachael, a birth doula and childbirth educator. Together, we're here to bring you conversations about pregnancy, birth, and motherhood. From cesarean to VBAC, hospital to home births, we've experienced it all. We are high school friends who reconnected through our shared passion for health and birth. As moms to 2 young boys, we've both changed careers after our own transformative childbirth experiences.
Join us as we discuss the importance of a healthy body and mind throughout pregnancy, birth, and into motherhood. Our goal is to provide fun, interesting, and helpful conversations and interviews that inspire learning. When your body, mind, and intuition are aligned, you can conquer anything.
Sit back and relax, or grab a notebook and take some notes, or maybe listen as you enjoy a walk. However you choose to listen, we hope you enjoy this episode of the Aligned Birth Podcast. Before we get into the episode today, if you enjoy the content of this podcast, we would greatly appreciate your support in one of 3 ways. First, leave us a review or give us a 5-star rating. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and make a bigger impact. Second, you can sign up for our newsletter. By doing so, you'll be the first to receive new episodes and exclusive bonus resources straight to your inbox each week. Lastly, you can become a direct listener supporter. Running this podcast requires significant time, effort, and resources. Your contribution, no matter the amount, helps us continue providing valuable content to a wider audience. Simply use the links in the show notes to make your donation, sign up for our newsletter, or leave us a review. Every contribution matters and is sincerely appreciated. If the Aligned Birth Podcast is a part of your weekly routine and you love what we are doing, please consider supporting us through one of these 3 options. Your support will create a ripple effect, allowing us to reach more listeners and make a lasting difference.
I'm so excited to talk to you today.
I know. I'm so excited to talk to you as well, especially because we're trying out this new platform, Riverside, for our video and our recording. So this is a great little test run, and I'm glad we chose to do life updates as the first recording. It makes it a little bit less pressure.
Yes, I know. So that's one of our updates is, how we record the podcasts, and just trying out new things, something that's a little bit easier, user-friendly, that we can do a lot of kind of tweaking with, and so I'm kind of excited to get this going. You've done so much work with it, though. I'm like, I love it. Rachel's very good at these type of things, just so everybody knows.
Okay, you're giving me way too much credit.
She has a very good eye. Yeah, no, I love it.
Way
and even
too
with
much
our
credit.
social media stuff, Rachel always has a really good eye for posting things. So
I do enjoy it. I don't love social media. I do like kind of creating I like Canva. Canva makes me feel like a rock star, right? Because
it really does.
Canva's where you get to all your creative things come together. And I mean, I did our whole new intro, which once we get everything up on YouTube, people can come watch see our faces, but also see our new intro that we put together. But I used Canva, and Canva made it really pretty easy.
But it looks so good. That's the thing. What's crazy. It's like, it looks super professional. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, we're hopefully getting to try out this new platform, and then also branching out into hopefully getting the videos out there and doing like the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that was sort of the impetus for switching to Riverside, is it sort of gave us more autonomy and control over our editing and our recording and kind of everything all in one. If you didn't know, we have, not you, listeners, if you didn't know, we have transcripts available for all of our podcasts. It's another way you can consume the episode if that's meets the need. But I think this Riverside is going to make those transcripts more accurate and easier to grab. So,
because we were doing another technology that we were using so we'd have to replay the episode and grab that transcript. So that was
yes.
just another time, energy aspect thing that went into the podcast. So now hopefully it all happens at once and is more accurate. Yeah. Cause the last ones, there were some funny words that.
Yeah, I know. I had to read through it. It didn't pick up a lot of the words correctly. So I would fix some of them, but I also left some of them just as it was because it is what it is. But this I'm excited about. I think it's gonna be better. And we're taking over editing too. So, we've had a contractor who's done our editing for the past 2 years. And now we're going to be doing our own editing. So yay.
Look at us.
Look at us all grown up podcasters.
I know we're all grown up. Yeah. Like we know what we're doing. I love it. Well, and fun things about the podcast though, is that we have over 100 episodes that are out. The podcast is just over 2 years old. So we're in that toddler. We're in the terrible twos stage. Although
we are in the terrible
like that.
Yeah.
But
maybe not terrible twos. What's another way of saying
twos.
Terrific
we're in the terrific twos.
We are in the threshold though of like once you kind of get to this point, it is like very few podcasts actually keep podcasting. Like kind of beyond this point. So I feel proud of us for making it this far. And our consistency. Yes. Jinx. Yeah. Yay. I think that's the thing we're the most proud of is that we've stuck to that one episode a week for 2 whole years.
For 2 years. That's insane. I can't believe we did it. I know.
It's
just, and it's, our, like we've always said, like teamwork, makes the dream work, which is super helpful with all of these things. But so we have over 100 episodes. We've been consistently putting info out for over 2 years now. And I think we have, at the time of this, we're very close to 13,000 downloads, I think, somewhere. I haven't checked it in a little bit. Yeah. So, but that's super exciting though, too. So
yes,
I just had someone have a patient who she's a runner. I was on her podcast. I'm going to have her on the show at one point once this next little baby arrives. And she said, she was like, I just went back and re-listened to I did one on like postpartum fitness and running and stuff like that. And so, cause she's a runner and she's like, this has got me all excited about, getting back into it. And I was like, oh my God, I know. That just made me really happy though.
And then I love how they live on, right? Like you can always hark back to them and re-listen. And, we're always trying to reshare older episodes. Like when we talk about certain things in one episode, we're like, right now, go back and listen to this because we touched on it. So it's nice you can always go back. But even more cool when a listener is doing that. But it lives on. It's so easy to kind of go back and re-listen to some helpful stuff.
We have so many good episodes. That's the thing. We have so much content.
I had a fun listener interaction or encounter at one of our recent home birth class, our most recent one. We were taking a break and one of the, we probably had 6 couples there. And one of the mamas stopped me and goes, are you the co-host of Align Birth podcast? Or are you or do you have the Align Birth podcast? So she asked it in a way and I was like,
oh my
yes.
God.
She was like, me. I've listened to like so many episodes and your voice sounded so familiar.
Stop it. That's so freaking cool.
Yeah. I was like, yes. And I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for listening. Oh, it was so exciting.
I love it. There was one time I went out to dinner. I think I've shared this before, but with like those there's a group of women that I do a bunch of races with, and Dr. Pam Stone, who I've had on the show before, she was there as well. So we were talking about the podcast or something, and our waiter was like, "Wait, are you famous?" And I was like, "No, but I do have a podcast. Thank you."
Depends on how you define famous and how birthy you are.
Yeah, it's 13,000 downloads and 100 episodes famous, because then yes.
Yeah, I know. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, we're becoming, more relevant, and just got to keep doing it, get to that next kind of tier, and more listeners and more support. And that's why, we're going to keep doing it and keep, growing and offering, you heard in our intro, we've got, ways to support the show, ways to connect with us, like really trying to expand into those areas so we can, grow our community.
I know. And we've got lots of things on the horizon too for, episodes that we want. We just had a bunch of recent, like really, really good ones, like 3 really, really good birth stories that came out, very different births. And so I think that was what was really cool about all of those. So we want to continue, with the birth story avenue of things, but then a more good lineup of interviews. And then there's always things for us to talk about in the birthing world. In fact, we even have like a lineup already of episodes that we need to sit down and talk
topics
about.
To cover. Yes. And it's never ending. And I do love the birth story episodes, and I think our listeners do too. We get a lot of good feedback from those, and those always have good numbers.
Those are really, really good. So yay. So that's us with the podcast. I know, I'm excited. We're going to keep going with it, and hopefully we don't have like too many hiccups or things with Riverside, but I think we'll be good. We figured it out.
I think so. You'll have to let us know.
I know, right? If there's something going on, send us an email. Okay, what's new with you in the doula world, North Atlanta Birth Services world, NABS world, all that good stuff? I'm dying to know.
Yeah, no, we're steadily growing. We now have 6 doulas. So myself plus 6 others. So that's wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it was just you, and then you and Hannah. And now I remembered it with Lauren and Courtney. So now you've got even more.
Well, it's Lauren and Catherine.
Catherine, that's her name. Yeah.
Yep. There's
Courtois,
another.
That's the last name. That's why I keep saying Courtney.
Yeah. There's another duo that's Lauren and Courtney, doulas of ATL, who we love them.
That's right too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they're really a different group, but so we have Catherine and Lauren. They're a birth doula team. So they take on birth doula clients together, and they're amazing. And we've been rocking and rolling with them for just over a year. And then Hannah and I are about to celebrate our 2-year partnerversary. We're actually going out to breakfast on Monday coming up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So, and then we have Amanda, our postpartum doula.
Right.
Yep. And she's wonderful. And then we just added a new postpartum doula, Tara Thompson.
What? We had her on the show too.
I know.
She's an amazing massage therapist, childbirth educator, postpartum doula, infant massage, lymphatic massage. She's freaking fantastic.
She's got so much experience and knowledge, and she's a birth doula too, but she's focusing on her massage services and postpartum doula work. So bringing her on the team has helped expand our service line tremendously. So we have 3 different massage services. So you can prenatal, postpartum massage. Her niche is that she'll come to your home, so long as you're within a certain radius of like the Cherokee County area, like 30 miles or 30 minutes. But she does in-home. She has a couple office locations where she'll do massage. She can work magic too on mama, especially like if you're, waiting on labor to start and you're in that 39, 40, 41 week mark. Getting a massage from her can really kind of help get things going, bring on relaxation and release tension. And she's just so familiar with pregnancy and birth. Being like in her presence is just an awesome energy. So we're excited to be sharing her services. And then she also has a service. It's the massage doula. And so since she's a birth doula, she has that training and that experience, and she's a trained massage therapist. She has a service where in early labor, so if you're in early labor, typically if you have a primary doula, before they join you, or if you don't have a doula at all, she'll come in early labor and give you a massage, offer some comfort techniques, give you some emotional support, kind of be there in that like early time that, the early labor is kind of the longest, most unpredictable part of labor for a lot of people, especially first time birthers, but for anyone really. So I think that service is awesome. And I can't wait for none of our clients have had a chance to, none of our direct clients, she's had clients who have done it, but none of our direct clients have had the chance to do it yet because we've just started like marketing it. But I think that can be so beneficial for many mamas. So she's doing that. And then she's doing postpartum tuck-ins.
The tuck-ins. I saw that recently where she was talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. She comes and tucks you in. So she comes in, she helps with that transition. This is typically from like you gave birth in a hospital and you're transitioning home. She meets you like at home as you're getting home. So like you would hire her and then you let her know you're in labor and then you let her know when you're heading home and she meets you at home. So within a couple hours of getting home, and she's going to help you get settled, help set up your like space for where you're going to be like really trying to focus on rest and relaxation, gets a meal for you, helps kind of unpack, get things settled, can do some massage as well, really help with that transition, help understand like what's normal, how you should be feeling, kind of like, answering questions in that regard. So that is really beneficial, especially for cesarean birth too. She really feels like it's super beneficial for people who have had to have a cesarean for getting home and getting settled and getting comfortable. Because again, it's much harder after you've had a cesarean. So, so those are her 3 massage services that she offers and that we're going to be offering for our clients as well, for anyone looking for them. So very excited for that. And then she's also an evidence-based childbirth educator. So we're actually adding 2 new childbirth education classes to our group. One of them is through Tara, and that's the evidence-based birth class, which is it's a hybrid of virtual and in person. So if you're not familiar, evidence-based birth is a great resource for childbirth education. They thrive on shared decision-making, evidence-based information, autonomy, all of that. So it's comprehensive childbirth education. And you get like all of the evidence-based birth, like videos. So they're pre-recorded, but you have Tara as your like mentor through the process. So she's trained through them and it's a very rigorous training. And then you do like your initial class, I think virtually with her. And then you go through the videos that evidence-based birth provides. And then they do an in-person for the group session at the end where you get all the hands-on practice. So it's a good mix of using virtual and in-person and some pre-recorded stuff and then some live. And then she's available throughout, like for questions, like throughout the however long you're with her. She does like a 3-week or a 6-week or, she has a whole bunch of different ways she does it. So we're excited to be offering that as well. And then we're also adding a Hypnobabies instructor to our agency. So Milan Miller, she's a Hypnobabies instructor and doula and a photographer. So she's some people refer to it as a doulatog. And she has made quite the impression. She's pretty new, but still like rocking and rolling and made a big impact. She's super talented. We actually have a client who hired her to do photography and we're super excited because like we'll be the doulas and she's going to be the photographer. So that'll be the first time we've gotten to do that. And so she's just a wealth of knowledge. And the Hypnobabies curriculum is very in-depth, very comprehensive. It's definitely like a niche. You kind of got to know that that's what you want. As far as the technique for, reducing pain and increasing overall satisfaction.
Yes.
Yeah. It's legit. And so hers is like a 6-week class. She'll do virtual or in person. But really in person is going to be the sweet spot, but it's nice that she does have a 6-week series as well. But yeah, she's like right along with you, like through the whole process. Again, you get comprehensive childbirth education with it. And then you learn the techniques of Hypnobabies. So yeah, she's awesome. We are super stoked to be having her as childbirth educator on our team and offering those, because we have Lamaze, evidence-based birth, and hypnobaby. So it's those are three kind of good different
big ones to have, but they're different. And that's what I was going to say. I love that because not everybody learns the same, but not everybody's going to want the same pain management techniques too. Like hypnobirthing may not work for everyone, but then you have these other options. And so that's really good for people to kind of be able to go through and say, yep, this is how I'm able to, or this is what helps me with managing stress or something like that. So,
well, you can kind of read through, the different philosophies on birth, or the different sort of the summaries for each method, and see what aligns with you. And that's what we're all about. Before we had these other classes as part of our agency, we always shared my Lamaze class, but then we're always like, here are all the other methods that are out there. Read through the brief description of each type, because we want it to resonate with you. We want you to be like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I want to be excited to be learning about that. It's not like one way. So we've always shared a variety of different childbirth education options, even if they didn't use mine. Because I would always be like the first to say, you don't have to take mine. If mine resonates with you, if what I'm saying resonates, do it. But if not, here are the other ones. We just want you to have childbirth education, right? So, but very excited to have these as part of our offering. And again, if those don't work for you, we know others. So we're always sharing about options in that regard. And that's brand new. That's not even on our website yet. So we're working on rolling that out. And then the other service we've added is a mini postpartum shift. And this is primarily for hospital birth. For that first day or two after you've given birth, we'll have a doula come in for 4 hours and help with holding the baby, soothing the baby, helping you get rest, helping you get food, like kind of helping keep the environment calm and peaceful so you can rest. Because getting rest in the hospital after you've given birth is one of the hardest things. And most people don't really feel that like prepared for it. Or it kind of just takes them by surprise as far as like how little sleep and rest you can actually get during that time. And there's a lot of worry about like, is my baby taken care of? And rooming in is how most hospitals do it. So the baby stays with you, which is great. But then there's not a lot of good time to get rest.
You're not in a comfortable space anyways, like in the hospital. So it's just different. Yeah.
It's so different. And then the husband usually, or partner, is wiped too, but they're trying to take care of the new baby and the mom. And so, it's trying to paint the picture for what it looks like and how this service can help that period of time, help you get rest. Because the more rested you are, the better you've eaten, the more well taken care of you are, the better you feel. So when you get home, you're not completely depleted. So that's something that any of our doulas can do. We're calling it like a mini postpartum shift because it's in the postpartum, but that's the gist of that. So really trying to expand our service line, expand our services, that full spectrum.
And
that
seeing
whole
where
year,
the needs are, and saying, okay, we see this and this is a gap and there's a need here for, the services that we can offer. Yeah.
And then we've got another couple postpartum doulas that we've been talking to. So hoping to expand the postpartum team as well. And we're want to add some birth doulas too, but we're a team. We're having 2 doulas as a team or as partners is our mission. Like we want to duplicate like doula partners. And so finding and matching doulas who want to work together in that way and duplicating that is a more slow and steady process than just adding a bunch of solo doulas.
Single.
So that's a little bit more of a process, but we're working on it and just keeping her going. So that's what we've been doing.
I love the growth there though. That's really good. That sounds good.
It's fun. Gets me lit up.
I'm glad it's still fun though too. You got to keep it fun and remember why you're doing it. And
yes,
that's exciting.
Yeah. What about you? What's been going on at Sunrise?
Honestly, not too much. It's still just me. Still
rocking and rolling
and doing my thing and just, staying busy. I've kept my schedule the same, it's just, So, but today when we're recording this is actually the 5-year birthday. So
happy birthday.
My office celebrates a birthday. So
congratulations.
5 years.
That's
kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. So every once in a while I'll get in my head, because sometimes I'm like, well, I don't think that my growth is where I want it to be, where I think it should be, where it can be, where I see other people at. And so sometimes that can be kind of tough, especially in that, owning your own business world. But in
Yes.
looking through things, and I was just kind of, I don't know, going through all like old files and stuff like that, of just like looking at how much it's grown and what I didn't even like, how I'm doing now. It didn't even seem like that was going to be possible. Right. Like I was
Yep.
like, I don't know how
I did
that's
that
going
for real.
to, I don't know how that's going to work out. So it's still just kind of, yeah, I have the goals and the aspects with it and the dreams, but it's also still just kind of going with that flow of, how things are unfolding,
Yeah.
and that
Just
sort of
kind of taking
thing.
that
So
each next step at a time.
it
But
really
it's also good
is.
to appreciate how far you've come. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
so real as far as like that. Wherever you are, you're always thinking about what's next instead of like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, if I had 5 years ago what I have now, I would be floored. I would be like, dreams come true. This is exactly what I've been
Mm-hmm.
working for. Like getting your schedule, having a full calendar, like
Mm-hmm.
making your own schedule, like having your own space, like all of that was what you wanted. Like, and that was like, you're like, I just want that. But then you get there and you're like, this is what you're doing. And so like
Mm-hmm.
getting caught up in that, like what's next or want to do more. And it's like, no, just enjoy what you work so hard for, because you're hopefully reaping the benefits and enjoying it and changing a lot of lives along the
Yes.
way. And that is amazing.
Yes. No, it's still very, very rewarding. I still love it a whole bunch. So excited to see where like growth and progress can occur and happen. But it's almost like, having a kiddo where it's like, yeah, you want them so, oh, I can't wait till they crawl. Oh, I can't wait till they walk. But then it's also, you got to like, you want to stay in the moment and that
Yeah.
present moment too. So
Yeah. And
that's
you
what it
rolled out
feels
a
like.
new kind of website updates too, right? With some new things on your
I
website.
did. Yeah, that was like the first like marketing money I spent. I had the website redone because I had a very good friend make the website before for me, which was nice. And so that was fun to kind of roll that out, and I think it showcases a little bit more of all the offerings there, because I do like to focus on like that prenatal chiropractic and that postpartum. And so kind of in that perinatal, but then looking with, pediatric care and working a lot with families and athletes and that type of thing. So yeah,
Hmm.
there's like those niches that you have, but then it's also, yeah, I can see everybody. Again, too, not everybody is a good fit. So I do send them elsewhere if people need to go elsewhere. But
No, that's so good to know
so that was
though. That's
nice.
great.
So yeah, so that was good. Um, so that's been really fun, kind of crazy. And I recently, so we had Rachel Hart on the show. So she's a home birth midwife with Birthing Way, midwifery here local in Metro Atlanta area. And so she has started a podcast as well. And so we were chatting about this before the show, like everybody's starting podcasts. We love it. And because it's fun because we get to talk about it, and then we get to go be on their shows and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
she had reached out. So this is more, it's not necessarily like a birthy related one, because she also does like Reconnected to Life. So she did a whole episode on our podcast. I think it's either like 14 or 15 or something like that. So super early on, where she talks about it's like a coaching group, but also like really focusing on self-care. So it's like, and her
Hmm.
podcast is called Self-Centered Woman. And so
Hmm.
looking at, she wanted to go over the 4 seeds, which she has the 4 seeds of self-care. And so she's got it as meditation, prayer, exercise, nutrition, and sleep. I have my 5 pillars of health. So then I add in chiropractic care in that. So it's kind of fun to, everybody's got their own little
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
things, but she wanted to, have me on the show to talk mainly about running. So I'm a big runner. We've done a couple, episodes on here on that as well too. And she wanted to talk about that as far as like how exercise is so important to me as well. But then she wanted to go into some of how the business came about and how I got into chiropractic. So that was a really fun interview that I got to do with her. So I'll link it
Yeah.
here because it just came out. I think it came out in June. We're
Yeah.
recording this in July. But we detail a lot. And I think I've talked about this on the show before, but my family and I were in a pretty terrible car accident right before I was set to open the office. And so I think that's why I make like a big deal on every single birthday that the office has, because it's kind of like another little like, hey, we're still here and still
Yeah.
thriving and surviving type of thing. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to just survive. I want to thrive as well. So it's like we're doing both, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was nice. I, got to chat with her about that and go way more in depth because she had quite a few questions there as well too. So that was good because so July is always very, I don't know, July feels very like emotional. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
emotions and I'm kind of, I end up on like a little bit of a roller coaster
Mm-hmm.
of emotions.
Yeah.
So yay. So
Well,
the office
it's good to
celebrates
be able to have
birthday.
space to talk about those things and
Mm-hmm.
feel them, and your awareness, your self-awareness about them is so commendable because, when you know that about yourself and what you've been through and how far you've come and
Mm-hmm.
what you're still dealing with and all of that, it's great to still be able to hold that space and give yourself
Mm-hmm.
grace. Yeah, that was a
Yes.
great interview
Lots of
with
grace.
Rachel that you did. And I have a lot of really wonderful things to say about Rachel. I gave birth with her. And then I also did a year with Reconnected to Life. So
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed being part of her coaching program. Found it incredibly helpful and beneficial. My favorite was that we got an hour on the phone, once a
Mm-hmm.
month. And that was just like
Mm-hmm.
so much, so helpful. It was total gold, just like so much wisdom to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
And even if, we have our own successes and our own expertise and our own knowledge, it's just like there's still so much to learn and having space to kind of talk it out. So I just think what she's doing is really great. So y'all should
I
definitely
know.
go
It
check out
was
her
such a
podcast.
huge honor, I thought, because I was like, oh my gosh, you thought of me. I'm like, you're Rachel. You're the home birth midwife. Like it was, like I kind of idolize her and her work and her being and her in general. So it was
Yeah,
it's
that's
fun. I
cool.
love our birthy community,
Circles. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of it for the business. It
that's
feels pretty good though.
wonderful.
Yeah, it
That's
feels
great.
really good
Well,
though.
happy fifth birthday.
Yay. I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so celebrating that. So that's kind of like businessy things for us. What's going on in your world? I don't even know what day it is. It's somewhere in the summer and we're in the Atlanta area, so that means we go back to school like really early. So like
Yep. We go back to school in 2 weeks.
yeah, we go August
August
1st.
1st.
Yeah, do you go August 1st too? Okay.
August
I
1st.
wasn't sure because I know we got out at like different times. So, which I know
Yeah.
that's like super early for some people.
Yeah, it's still
Well,
full on summer
yeah,
on
yeah.
August 1st. So it's
I
like
mean, it's
summer's
hot.
quote unquote winding down, but you're still in the heat of summer. Like you still want to be
Uh-huh.
doing summery things,
Uh-huh.
but then we have to go back to school. I have a fifth grader and a second grader. So that's how long I've been doing school, like public
Uh-huh.
school, like being on
Uh-huh.
a schedule like that. Right.
Uh-huh.
And every summer, I'm just like, at the end of the school year, I'm really excited for summer. I am like thinking about all the things I'm going to do, how we're going to, the structure of our summer, the fun things we're going to do, how we're going to stay like, we're not going to have the summer slide. We're going to read and
Mm-hmm.
write and learn. And then we're going to go to camp and we're going to have pool time and we're going to have slow mornings. And this is like,
These are
I'm
our
thinking of
expectations, right? I need to
those are my I'm like, I get real excited for summer.
Uh-huh.
I really do. I don't dread it. I work full time. Like I work full time. My husband works full time. Where are these fun things going to happen? Where's this
Who's
happening?
doing the fun things?
Like I go into I'm like, I will make it happen because I work for myself, right? So I'm like, I will make it happen. I'll carve out time. I will, I don't know. It's just
It's
always so
just
much harder when
and
I'm
when
in it.
we're
And I
yeah.
feel like the whole time I'm like failing miserably. And I'm not, but I do because I'm like, I want to be doing more. And they're happy as can be. They really are. I don't think they're
Oh
feeling
yeah.
like, but I can't help but always feel like another day has gone by and I worked all day and they hang out at home if they're not at camp. And so we definitely limit screen time and they make their own fun. they're doing just fine. But I always feel like I wish I had done something with them today instead of worked. So I don't know. I'm just always conflicted. We've done camp. We've done 4 camps. They've had camp. But then when they're at camp, I miss them. And I feel like we should be going like to the pool
We
or the
could be
lake or
doing something
something.
else. Yeah.
We should be doing something else.
Uh,
But I tried to do a variety of camps. So they did like 2 STEM camps, which is like a local university. They did a week at outdoor camp at YMCA, which is like they're outside doing lake stuff and wood stuff for a week. And then they did a ninja warrior camp, which was like,
That's fun.
parkouring and tag and obstacle courses and
See,
stuff.
they're
So, I
living
mean,
their best life.
I think so, but why do I feel like
Why does it feel? Yeah, I know. Summer is hard. Summer
is hard, and there's still 2 weeks left, but I feel like the dread of it ending is real. And then I have dread, like I'm ready for them to be back in school because I love the routine of school. I like that the school bus comes and picks them up and drops them off. I like that they're safe and at school all day. I can get my work done and not feel guilty. But then I miss them, and I'm sad that school has started back. Like I don't make sense, Shannon.
I know. I know you don't.
I don't make any sense. I'm like so a mixed bag around summer. That's it.
Summer is I get the same way with it though too. So and it's the same like last year like if you're watching video, my little ring light went out, so I'm now in the dark, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Last year it was a very jam-packed summer, and it was we were like here a week, gone a week, here a week, gone a week, here a week, gone a week. It was like back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And I knew going into it, I knew this was I was like, it's gonna be crazy. This is what it's gonna be. And I think this summer I decided I was like, we're not doing as much. And it was almost like I just kind of changed those expectations just a little bit too, because I was like, we can't. Because again, too, we're all here. So the kids, my boys, they went to my mom's for a week, and then they're going for another week this coming week. And so that's been nice because they'll go there, and that's like camp for them, But then I am home, and it's not like, so they're gone the same amount of time this summer because then we just had like a family beach trip, and that's pretty much all we did. That's all you really have time for because it's such a short summer. But they are still they still have all of the same time off that I did last summer, but I guess it fits better, with them because it's like they can maybe handle it a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it is tough. I will say the end of every school year, I'm like, God, I just want to sleep in, because I do. And I don't even get up as early as, most everybody else, but I do. I in the school year, I get up at 5 because I like to have an hour to myself in the morning. And then the school stuff starts. And then I fit in exercise somewhere in the middle of, because I've got an 8th grader and a 5th grader now. And so I fit in the exercise between the 2 school times and then start the day. And I love that routine. I do really well with that routine, but then I get exhausted with that routine. And so it's usually either we have like a school break coming up or it's like the end of the school year. And that's when I'm like, oh, I just want to sleep in.
Yeah.
And so I've done that a lot this summer, and not necessarily sleeping in, but like just waking up to whenever my body was going to wake up. But I've gotten off of my schedule, my normal routine.
Your routine. Yeah.
And so I will say, I know my mental health really fluctuated a lot this summer. So I don't know if it was a little bit of just the stress of summer and being at home and still working and managing kids. And again, too, like not doing all the things that I thought we were going to do. I was like, oh man, we're going to go up to Chattanooga for a day. I want to go to a Braves game, like all of these things. We didn't do any of it.
Yeah. Same.
But it's also I didn't, when I do wake up on my own, I'm like, well, crap, now I have only this much time to fit in these things. And so part of my morning routine, which I like to sit, like I have my devotionals and I'll do my like journaling. That is what kind of went to the wayside, which I talk a lot about that in my office, how important it is, but it went to the wayside. And I will say, I can definitely feel that this summer was a lot more, it was a lot more of a struggle, like mentally. And and looking back on it, I think, and just the past few days, I'm like, I've been getting, not waking up, but making just a little bit of time to spend that time journaling. And it's made a huge difference, and I can feel it. So it's like, I know that's part of it, but yeah, it's like, I desperately wanted the change in schedule, but then
there has to be a benefit though in the sleep, like letting your body wake up on its own. Like that's what I do on the weekends that we don't have plans early, is like, I'm just like, we're sleeping until I wake up, and it feels so good. But doing it on a weekday is harder. I struggle with the exact same things. Like if I don't get up early, like whatever 2 or 3 hours I've missed, I feel it all day as far as like productivity. And I think that's the mental though switch. It's not like my body is probably doing better with the extra sleep. Like if you know you need the extra sleep, getting that is good. Like we need to let our bodies sleep and rest, and that is productive, right? I think this is what I say.
Yes.
But internally, if I choose that on a weekday all day, it gives me stress that I've missed out on, that there's not enough time.
Yep.
To get what I need to get done. And that brings me stress. So
yeah,
I don't know what's better.
Yeah, that's where I was like, I wanted to sleep in, and now that I've been sleeping in, well, now I can't fit in all the things that I want to fit in.
So then it's like, well, what do I let go of?
There's a give
or what
and
do
a take.
I?
Well, and that's, I think it comes to that, like, and even in that interview I did with Rachael, it came down to, I was like, I don't do it all. I can't fit it all in. So things do have to like go to the wayside at some point, or, asking for help on certain things or whatnot. But
yeah, she's so big on like choosing the thing that's better for you, like the self-care thing over the productive thing, or the responsible, like the job, or because most of that stuff can wait. It's we have to take care of ourselves first. It's just, I struggle with like what actually makes me feel better. And honestly, for me, what makes me feel better is going to bed early and still getting up early. Because then I still get my sleep, and then I still feel like I'm productive, and feeling productive feels good to me. Like,
yes, I'm
and
of
getting
that same
stuff
mindset.
done earlier in the day feels better to me. And knowing that like, if my afternoon frees up because I was able to get up and get stuff done, bonus. But if like we have curveballs in our day and I need more time in my day to get stuff done, I have more time because I got up early and I got stuff done. I don't know. I'm definitely an early riser by choice. Like I choose to get up early. In the summer, I've struggled. I've let myself sleep in a little bit, but not much, because I want to get up before the kids. I want to get some work done. But I do work in those hours. I don't do journaling. And journaling would probably be better for me.
Yeah. See, do the work. Yeah. So
but also work out too.
But yeah, so that's where that's what I was doing. I was like, well, I still want to fit in my exercise. So I was doing the exercise rather than, like sitting journaling. I was just kind of taking it easy in the morning. So it's just been interesting, to kind of see the ebbs and flows of that. And so, but now that school is almost starting, I don't want to get up early. I don't want to go back, but we'll get there.
It's like you want it, but you don't, right?
Yes.
Like we want it, but we don't. It's conflicting.
So yeah, summer's been interesting. Another thing has been, so let's see, we did a podcast on some of my running stuff. So I ran an ultra marathon. I did a 40-mile race back in December. And so we chatted about that too, because there were definitely lots of parallels between that and birth. My thoughts and my mental state on the run was very similar to giving birth. It was really, it was really fun to hash that out. But after that race, I kind of tanked, and I took a very extended break from running, probably the longest break I've ever taken. And so I did about 100 days or so off, because I was just in pain, like my second toe. Who needs their second toe? But obviously you need your second toe.
It's a very important toe.
Very important toe. And just a variety of reasons of why it was bugging me. So that was kind of a struggle, I guess, like at the beginning of the year, and that whole like, am I going to come back to running? Is it going to come back? Is it going to feel the same? That was, and even too, I was like, oh, sweet. I'm now 40. I'm in the master's age group for races. I've wanted to be in the master's age group because I wanted to be a master. I think that's so freaking cool that we call
That is cool. I like that that's what they call it.
I know, I do too.
Not
and
silver shoes.
No, exactly. No, screw that. I am a master.
I love it.
And I wanted to do a race like every month in that master's level. And that didn't happen because I was like, well, things are hurting. So I was like, well, at least you stay in this age group for a little bit. So that can happen, next year.
It can still
41.
happen.
But I started back running again. And things feel really, really good. So I was
Yay!
I know. So I've been very excited about that. Because even when I was talking to my husband, like even earlier in the year, I was like, man, I hope I can run at the beach again. Like that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no pain, doing good. Lots of things went into that. But so like running again and doing that and doing a different, my husband does, he takes these classes. He's been going for about a year now to a place near us called Truck Fit, and he loves it. And he was like, I know you're going to love this. You should really do it. But I was doing so much running. Like it was really hard. And I was like, I only have so much time in the day. So I did. And I was like, well, starting back with running, let me try out some of these classes and that sort of thing with him. So we've had a lot of fun going, to those. It's, I guess, like a little bit of like CrossFit style stuff, but like body weight workouts, but other things too. And, it's been a lot of fun.
Build some strength.
Yeah. In a different way than kind of what I'm used to. So it pushed me out of my comfort zone a little bit. That's great. Great.
I'm so glad to hear you're back running, trying a new type of workout too with the hubs. That's always fun.
So that's been, so that's been like the silver lining of summer, is that I was able to, because that's when I think it was just this summer when I started taking the classes, and I did the Murph workout or whatever that is for like Memorial Day. I thought it was,
yes, I've never done it, but I've heard
really
and seen
intense.
People like share about it of like it being so intense.
So that's a good thing from summer, despite
that
all
is
the things
a good
that
thing.
I felt that I was lacking.
Yeah. Well, speaking of running, I've not on the same level at all, but I have ran off and on for years. But after having my first son, since having children, I've not really been able to run without pain or leakage. That's just the honest truth. And so 10 years after giving birth to my first, I started pelvic floor PT.
Yay!
And because of that combined with some chiropractic care, I have been able to start running in small doses. I'm running like 2 miles 3 times a week. Very, very modest pace.
Fantastic.
But I've always loved running.
Huge.
I love trail running. And I've ran in those years, but it's always been like dysfunctional. Like it's, and I've always been like, I don't know if I want to return to that. And I've wanted to return to it, but it's like nothing I could have as part of my regular workout. So I've adjusted my workout to be primarily physical therapy, exercises, yoga, and running or walking. Whereas I was doing like a lot of HIIT, and I was doing a lot of like weights and walking and yoga. But now I'm just doing only the exercises from the pelvic floor therapist because I need to like retrain. I'm like functioning, my body functions, but there's a lot of dysfunction. So like I have recurring pain in like my hip or in my psoas or certain things. But then I keep doing I can do all the exercises. You know what I'm saying? Like you do them and then you might feel pain later. And I'm always like, oh, it's fine. But I'm trying to be able to get to a point where I'm functioning properly and I can do the exercise I want to do and not have the pain or pelvic floor dysfunction with leaking. So it's been a journey. I started in March with pelvic floor therapy, just started back to the chiropractor. So I think those together and the fact that I'm able to go out and run consistently on any level feels like a win.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So just some tweaks to the physical fitness. And it was hard to let go of some of those. I don't know about you, but I'm sure it's like certain runs you feel like are worth it or certain workouts are like worth it. I always felt like I had to get in there and do like HIIT or a get in there and do some weights in order for it to like count. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Strava,
It's like a weird.
I put it's linked, like my Garmin will link up to Strava, and Strava will be like, oh, or Garmin will sometimes be like, it'll talk about like your effort and how like, oh, this was really light, or this is lighter than
Oh,
normal.
no.
And I'm like, screw you. Like, at least I got it done. Like, why couldn't you? I don't know. That really ticks me off.
There needs
like,
to be
no,
room for light.
I'm like, I know it was lighter than normal. You ding that. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
like I'll do all of my pelvic floor exercises. It's not pelvic floor, but it is pelvic floor. But there's what's been eye-opening to me is that my pelvic floor therapist is looking at the function of my entire body. So I'm doing like upper body exercises. I'm doing core exercises. I'm like, I'm doing a whole bunch of different things besides just pelvic floor work. And so I'm focusing on just those exercises. And that'll take me like 30 to 40 minutes, and I'm like, I don't have time to work out for 5 hours a day. So like, that's my workout for the day, but my heart rate doesn't really get up with these exercises, so, but I'm like, they matter.
But you're
and I'm
retraining those muscle patterns. So you have to retrain that to then get to the point where, okay, we could get the heart rate up, and now we have these new motor patterns.
And they're working properly, right? So I have to go really slow, focus on my breath. Like, I'm not good at going slow. I'm like, 15 reps, get them done. And she's like, no, you need to be going so much slower. Like, and so it takes me longer to do it. And I'm like, well, that's my workout for the day. And that is just where we're at because, and my heart rate might get up to like 100, like it's nothing crazy. So, but it's been nice. I've been on that pace for a few weeks because when I started pelvic floor therapy, I was continuing my workout regimen the same, and I just wasn't getting a lot of benefit. But so I had to change. I had to take out some of the exercises that were causing problems. So anyways, that's been an adjustment this summer, but I'm enjoying it.
That's good. Yeah. The downstream, the end result of that is going to be really good.
I'm hopeful.
I'm
hopeful. And then I'm going to see a sports medicine massage therapist next week to identify, because I'm able to do a lot. I've from some sort of past injury or weakness, my body has compensated. So I'm able to do certain workouts, but it's figuring out what muscles are actually firing when I'm doing certain movements, because I think we're going to find that I'm probably not using like my hamstring or my butt muscle on my right side. Yeah. And then I'm compensating with other muscles. So therefore it's, this is your realm. I don't know all the language, but there's a component in there that's muscular too. So I'm excited to kind of explore that to see what's working properly and what's not, because something's probably not working properly. That's why I have chronic pain, I think.
Well, yes, getting to the root of it though. That's good.
Yeah, it takes time though.
It does, and effort and energy.
Yeah, so that's been the past 6 months. So that's been fun-ish.
Yeah, I know. Well, yay. I love our life updates.
Yeah, there it is.
And I'm excited.
Y'all, that is what is happening.
I know.
Amidst us being able to still crank out some episodes for you. So that's a little bit of us, and excited to keep this going with you.
Yep. We'll chat next time. Thank you for joining us on the Aligned Birth Podcast. We hope you found our discussions informative, inspiring, and enjoyable. Remember, when your body, mind, and intuition are aligned, you have the power to overcome any challenge that comes your way. We appreciate your support and leaving a review or rating, signing up for our newsletter, or becoming a direct listener supporter. Your contribution helps us continue delivering valuable content and reaching more listeners like yourself. Stay connected with us through our newsletter to receive the latest episodes and bonuses straight to your inbox each week. You can also connect with us on Instagram at aligned_birth. All links can be found in the show notes. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of the birthing individuals and new moms. Thank you for being a part of our community. We look forward to sharing more empowering conversations on the Aligned Birth Podcast. Until next time.